Okay, I'm going to walk you through modeling all of the Bauhaus chess set from 1924, all the pieces, except for the bishop. I already showed the bishop in another video, so check that out. That's the kind of more complicated one, so I thought I would make a special one for that. I also showed slicing and 3D printing in that one as well. Okay, so let's go. This is, again, our chess set over here with all of our pieces, and let's go over to our dimensions. And the first thing we're going to do is the easiest one, the pawn. The pawn is a 20 millimeter by 20 millimeter cube. And we're done. That is a 20 millimeter by 20 millimeter cube. That's all it took. I'm going to park it over here just for fun. Okay, now we need to do a rook. A rook is a 30 millimeter cube by a 30 millimeter cube. So again, we can duplicate our pawn if we want. The easiest way to do that is to hold the Option key down and drag with your mouse. And now we have another one. Again, you can also do Command-C, Command-V, or if you're on a PC, do Control-C, Control-V, or you could drag a new one in from over here. Okay, so again, just a reminder, the way to modify this cube is to adjust these settings, or you could change them here, which we'll do this time, just to show you that, 30 by 30. Now that's only 2 of the 3 dimensions we need to change. We haven't changed the z-axis yet. And so let me click on that and then set it to 30. And that is our bishop. You can see now, you can see now that's why this is our first assignment, is it's pretty straightforward, but you end up making a cool thing. So our rook is done, our pawn is done. Did I say bishop before? I can't remember. Anyway, this is the rook. Sorry about that if I did. Okay. The knight is a little bit more tricky. The knight is this shape, and you'll notice, looking over here at this image, there's 2 cutouts. There's one here, and there's one here. So it's an L shape stacked like this on top of another L shape stacked like this. So our best bet is to make the L shape, duplicate it, and then rotate it, I think. Okay, so our knight is 30 millimeters by 30 millimeters, and I say here the subtracted area should be 15 by 15 by 15. So it's just 1/4 of the total dimension. So here, let's do a new cube. We're going to do this here. And again, just a reminder, you can use these settings here to adjust length and width and height. Our length is going to be 30. Our width is going to be 30, but our height is only going to be 15. And the reason it's going to be 15 is it's going to be 2 stacked together, right? So 15 plus 15 will be 30. So there we go. I'm going to go into our friend OrthoView, because OrthoView, for me, is a much easier way to kind of think about subdividing these pieces, because I can sort of think of them as 2D shapes rather than 3D shapes. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a copy of this. And what we're going to do then is change the dimensions of this to 15 by 15. So now what we're going to do is we're going to position this exactly on top of our other cube. Check it out. Yep. Just a heads up, do you see, you might not get this in the video, but do you see like the flickering there that you get? That's called z-fighting. That's the thing that happens in 3D programs when you have one thing stacked exactly on top of another. If you're just wondering what that's called z-fighting. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to switch this from a solid to a hole. So we have our hole on top of our piece, and just a reminder, the hole is just a distinct shape, just identified as a hole and translucent. It's not really a hole until we decide to group our shapes. So now what we've done is we've made one of our L-shaped pieces. Very good. So now we're going to duplicate that piece. Boop. And let's take a look at our image. So it's going to be like that. And then what we're going to do is rotate. You see here's our rotation arrows, and again we're going to rotate 180 degrees, and the reason we're going to do 180 is because we want it to lay on top like this, right? And now we are stacked exactly on top, I have a feeling. Yep, so let's go to front view. 15. And there we go. We are now have two pieces on top of each other, and you can see that they are stacked on top of one another. And now we have, let's see, so if we position this exactly right, yes. So we now have it positioned exactly like this piece here. You can see we have our cutout here, and our cutout here, and our cutout here, and our cutout here. That is our knight. Pretty straightforward. I'm going to switch back to perspective view just for fun. And, oh, let's do this though. Right now, this is two shapes. And so I think what we want to do, just to make printing these shapes in the 3D printer easier, is let's combine them. So now it's one solid shape. We're going to run into a little issue when we 3D print, and this is going to be this overhang here, and it's going to be a problem. So we might decide to actually model this into two separate shapes instead, but we'll do an experiment and find out. Okay. That is our knight. Back here. So what we have left is we have the bishop we've already done, and we have the queen and the king. Pretty great. Okay, so let's do the king first. It's easy. And the king is a 20 millimeter cube on top. That's the pawn, right? And a 30 millimeter bottom cube. So that's pretty straightforward. We have our 30 and we have our 20, right? This is why the Bauhaus is awesome. They were super into modularity. And what we want to do is position that exactly on top. I'm going to go back to ortho view to make our life easier. And I think that's right. Move the camera so I can see it. Cool, that is it, but now we just need to rotate this king piece, top piece, the head of our king, 45 degrees. Whoops. And there it is, that's our king. So now our last remaining step is to combine the two.